Okay, for my second presentation, we will do a deep dive into the meaning and context of one of Barbara Kruger's artworks. So Barbara Kruger's artwork, untitled Your Body is a Battleground. That is the artwork I chose for this deep dive. Starting off, we will analyze this artwork for its meaning and context. We will then analyze this artwork for how it demonstrates one of Kruger's life experiences. So, let's move on to a deep dive into the meaning of this artwork. So regarding the meaning of this artwork, Barbara Kruger was a known feminist, who classified her artworks as feminist, contemporary, and anti-consumerism and mass media exploration. To find the meaning of this artwork, one must simply examine the text provided, which reads, "Your body is a battleground." As one can see, the artwork is pictured over here on the right, and we have the text, "Your body is a battleground." In the foreground of this message, there is a woman who appears in two monochrome sections of black and white. So a lot of critics and a lot of art reviewers have said that the reason why it's two sections, one theory was that it either represents good and evil, or the other theory was it represents the divide in the nation over the topic of abortion. I personally lean more towards the latter theory, but nonetheless, this text tells women that their bodies are battlegrounds, clearly related to women's reproductive rights and rights to abortion and contraceptives. Kruger utilizes this text to examine the battle for these rights. Overall, Kruger's text relates to the battleground that women face when it comes to reproductive rights and other similar rights. The meaning here is that this is a feminist artwork promoting the advancement of women and their reproductive rights. In general, Kruger's meaning relates to this. So overall, the meaning here is that this is a feminist artwork and is essentially highlighting how it's essentially highlighting the topic of abortion and the topic of women's reproductive rights, and is clearly advocating for pro-choice abortion. Okay, so let's move on to a deep dive into the context of this artwork. And the artwork will be on the left this time. So regarding the context of this artwork, Barbara Kruger was again a known feminist. This artwork's meaning has been explained, and as a result, the context is pretty similar to this. In general, when Kruger created this artwork, there had been several anti-abortion laws passed, and the Women's March in Washington, April 1989, was started. Kruger created this artwork for the Women's March in support of the feminist movement and the reproductive rights and other similar rights, and this movement was advocating for. Kruger created this artwork because several anti-abortion laws have been passed that try to reverse the landmark Supreme Court decision Roe v. Wade. As a result, Kruger created this artwork in order to advocate for women to support each other, Roe v. Wade, and progressive change. This artwork was also meant to advocate for pro-choice voices in the abortion discussion. Finally, as I mentioned above, the woman's split face has been expressed by critics to possibly represent the divide in the country over abortion laws, and the legality of abortion. Overall, with the deep dive into the context of this artwork, the overall context is that this artwork, this digital print on vinyl, was made by Barbara Kruger for the Women's March in April 1989. It was made for that. Okay, let's get to our final topic, which is how this artwork demonstrates one of Barbara Kruger's life experiences. So we have the artwork on the right again. So this artwork demonstrates one of Barbara Kruger's life experiences, being that she was a significant contributor to the feminist movement and to the Women's March, also called the March for Women's Lives. In fact, Kruger designed this print specifically for the Women's March in April of 1989. This print was made into several posters and flyers that were used in the march and to advertise said march. As a result, Kruger's artwork demonstrates her connection to the feminist movement and her support for women's reproductive rights. This artwork also demonstrates Kruger's support for women's rights to bodily autonomy, contraceptives, and more. And the reason why I say this is because abortion isn't explicitly mentioned in this artwork, though it is clearly one of the main factors of why she created it. But this artwork, while it was relevant in 1989, it's even more relevant now. And really, it could apply to abortion, contraceptives, bodily autonomy, everything. But anyway, back to the text. This print, which was specifically designed for the Women's March of 1989, has also been used in several other marches, and Kruger has become a known contributor to these marches. So overall, this artwork really helps to demonstrate one of Barbara Kruger's life experiences.